All right, y'all. Well, thanks for tuning in. We're here with another little podcast episode with my boy Ethan. So, Ethan, bro, give us a little intro, man, to who you are and what you do.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you for having me on
Yes,
to
sir.
the first place. My name is Ethan Larte. I'm the owner and creative director of Godsent. So I started it after I got into like a super bad accident, and I'll get in that too. But I'm originally from Virginia. Relocated out to Dallas in 2020 just to kind of, or not 2022. March of 2022 to kind of expand and just grow everything. But I started the brand after a crazy incident / freak accident that happened. This was back home in Virginia. It was January 4th, 2020. So as you know, 2020 was like that.
Pandemic.
That crazy year. So it was just a lot of stuff going on. The year had just started, just literally 4 days into it. But I was out the night before with my friends. So you know how that is. I came home a little bit later. At this time, I was still living with my parents.
Yeah.
So from where I'm from, like I'm sure you can relate to as well.
Yeah.
My family is like we're a Christian household, so we always go to church on Sundays. So it was a Saturday though, but my mom helps out in the church, so she came to me. I probably say I came home at like 4 or 5-ish. She woke me up probably by like an hour or two later. So obviously I was still like really tired. I was like, bro, like, you know what I mean? I just wanted to sleep. It's Saturday.
Right.
But she was like, can you help me in the church? And obviously like, I'm not saying, I can't say no.
Right.
So I was like, okay, you know, I get up, we're going. I'm super tired, but we get everything done. And I was with my whole family at this time. And then at the end of it, she was like, okay, now we have to drop your brother off in university.
Yeah.
So like school. I was like, oh, I can't go. Like, I had work at the time. This time I was working with my friend Vishnu. Shout out Shavish.
Yeah.
But I was working with my friend Vishnu at the time, and we had a wedding. So, like, what we would do is, you know, set up the wedding, back up the wedding.
Nice.
He would DJ the wedding, and I'll just kind of support and help him out, kind of oversee everything that's going on, the whole event. But, you know, obviously that's something that was planned and it was work. So I was like, I can't bail on him because if I bail on him, like, it won't get done. And then, yeah, it's a whole problem. So after, you know, a little bit of bickering back and forth with me and my mom, she was like, okay, go ahead. I didn't have my own car at this time, so I'd called the Uber from our church, and then they went to go drop my brother off. So I finally arrived home. I knew my neighbor was home. Keep this in mind. It all makes sense. But I knew my neighbor was home. I greeted him as soon as I got up. And my home back in Virginia is like a townhome. So it's like a 3-story level townhome. So you have to walk up some stairs before you even get to the first level. Yeah. So it's like you go up 2 flights of stairs before you get to the first level. So I get to that 3rd level and I'm just getting everything together. I looked for the car keys. Usually my dad leaves it in like the drawer. Yeah. But that day it wasn't in the drawer. So I went over to like the windowsill. Until this day, I don't know if it was water on the floor, if the window was a little bit open or something, but I went to look for the car key, correct? And I don't know if I slipped or something, but as soon as I kind of lost my balance, I held my hand on the window, but the window broke. And at this point, I'm hanging out the window, kind of like my legs are inside, but my torso is outside of the window. Yeah. So it's clear as day. I feel the breeze. I saw a Spanish man walking by. I said, sir, can you please help me? Same words, very respectful, like even though I was obviously freaking out a little bit inside. He looked at me and then he kept walking. Yeah.
So quick pause.
Yeah.
You're pretty much halfway hanging out the window.
Yeah.
And the Spanish man is Hispanic man is walking by, and you say help, and he just keeps walking by. What's his reaction though? Like
he was very calm, kind of looked at me like, and he kept going on.
I kind of had like a freeze moment, and then
yeah.
Wow,
he kind of just
bro.
looked at me in a freeze moment.
I didn't know that. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's probably one of the craziest parts about the story.
Yeah.
But even after that, I was like, after he started walking away, it was like to my left side. But I knew I had to make a move because I had like maybe 15-30 seconds to think what was really going on and process the situation. Yeah. So I was kind of thinking ahead in a way. I knew my neighbor was home. So once he started leaving, I was like, okay, I knew my neighbor was home because nobody's home with me. Yeah. It's just me in this house. So if it's gone, if I'm gone in that moment. But when they say like you see your life flash before your eyes, it flashed. It flashed. Like seeing everything from kind of the start to the end. And one of my biggest thing was first, like nobody's really gonna know what happened. And I'm not gonna be remembered for anything. Like what did I even do to help others?
Yeah.
And that's what it really shined on me in that moment, even though I was going through or I was in such a traumatic moment.
Yeah.
Very scary thing. But to get back to where we were, I was hanging out the window. As soon as I tried to push myself back, I fell and I hit the concrete. But only due to the grace of God and Jesus, I'll say truly, I got up. And I knew my neighbor was home. He sat me down. I started banging on his door. He sat me down, and then I looked down on my chest. And I had a cut it's right here. I have a cut right here that's 2 centimeters away from your heart. Anybody's heart, the width of your thumb. If it would have hit me, I would not be talking to you in this moment right now.
Yeah.
So that was the freak accident that started it. After that, I was recovering. Then January 15th happened. This is the day Godsent was born. I was learning how to rewalk, obviously, from that, doing physical therapy and stuff. But since my home was super high up, I couldn't. It wouldn't have happened to get up there. And so I was staying in a hotel at this time, recovering. The hospital had let me go, or released me, I should say. They released me, and I was sitting there, and I believe I was by myself. It was around nighttime, and I was looking at my Instagram bio and it had Godsent in all capitals with a period. So that's how Godsent started. I wouldn't say I came to it or I was like, I want to start a brand. It literally came to me in that moment. So like that was the catalyst that ultimately birthed everything you see going on today. And yeah, so it's definitely a blessing and a crazy story, but I know it's Godsent. Like it doesn't get more crazier than the name. So yeah,
that's crazy, bro. So quick backtrack. Just because that was a lot to process, and I'm sure like the viewers are probably like, that's a huge story, bro.
Thank you.
So give me the time frame from when you said January 15th was when Godsent officially started. Like the idea was born.
Yes.
So I started getting rolling. How far was that from the accident?
So the accident was January 4th. So if we count maybe 12, 13, 14, 2 weeks maybe.
Oh, just 2 weeks after that.
I know it's God because I really recovered very fast. And one of the things they said when the accident happened was like the nurse, well, first all the nurses in the whole hospital were shocked. Because people passed away from one story, but let alone 3 stories to live. And the cuts and stuff, the incisions and things I had, like obviously the heart one is the most craziest, but the only broken bone I had was my broken big toe.
Wow.
Yeah, and then just cuts from the glass.
Yeah, like small cuts and stuff like that.
Yeah, but like even that alone was crazy. It's like what's going on?
It's almost as if like, and not in a bad way, but more should have happened to you in a way. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
100%.
From a 3-story, like I mean, give me. I'm like they don't know my house, but give me a perspective, bro. So like, did you see how big these buildings were? These houses?
It's probably like
one more story.
One more story,
bro.
Like
that is crazy.
We can put it up if you can.
Yeah, I can pull it up. Like if you have a picture of a house.
Yeah,
bro.
I'll show you.
Crazy, bro.
Man, it was insane.
Wow. So 2 weeks after the accident, Godsent starts.
And
then it just takes off from there. Like that's when you get the planning, the ideas.
So at this time, I was still in school, so it was my last year. So I was doing school at that time, but ever since it started, I kind of knew if I stuck to it and really stuck to the vision, it would be something that's bigger than all of us and me and myself. So like it does kind of get me heartfelt in a way because sometimes you really don't know, I guess, how far you've come till you look back in a way. Because we're just kind of so focused on the next step, but it's truly a blessing.
That's great, man.
Truly a blessing.
That's so great to hear. And just to continue the conversation, tell us a little bit about Godsent. Because I know it's just more than apparel. Right. You're doing all types of things. So share a little bit about what Godsent is and what it means to you, really.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you for that question. I like that question. Godsent to me, most importantly, is to help and inspire others. To inspire others day by real life situations. So it's everything.
That's your logo. That's inspired by real life situations.
Exactly. Inspired by real life situations, and not only the accident being born, but things you do on a daily basis that can help others. Something as small as just helping out a friend. Just being a light for others. That's really what I want everyone who wears Godsent and supports it is to kind of take away is it's more lifestyle. I'll say I just wanted to or I want it to be like a driver to help people get closer to God.
Right.
That's all it really is, to be honest. I think the way it came up is obviously from an awful thing, but the thing that it's going to make, or the thing that it has and it is going to make, is like so much more beautiful than that. So like I don't even really feel like too. Obviously, I felt pain at that moment, but like I'm happy. Like I'll never change anything. Like, I always say that, like through good times and bad times, I'll never change anything.
I think that's huge, because I know like maybe growing up, like we think like, dang, I wish I would have done X, Y, or Z different. But for you to say that, bro, and for it to be such a, how you said, painful moment, because I can't even imagine the pain you went through from the moment you hit that floor. Yeah. And you wouldn't change it because it led to something greater. Right. You know what I mean? Of course.
I think it's just about the process, and the process is the journey. Yeah. Like we're so focused on getting there, but like I don't know if you felt this way, or they may feel this way. It's like you get to that goal and you don't really expect, or you didn't really feel it you don't feel like how it felt when you visited your mind. So it's like just having fun with it, keeping God first, most importantly, but just knowing where we're headed, I feel like is the biggest thing.
Yeah, bro, and thanks for sharing that, because that helps me and them understand a little bit more about why you do what you do.
Right, it's very true to everything you're saying. Like I feel the best way, I was talking about this with my friend last night, is these are compound risks when you're starting your own business. It's not one risk. It's going to be multiple risks. Even when you're at the highest level you can be, you still have to make a decision, right? And the decision is a risk. Yeah. So I kind of look at it like as an analogy of football. Some people, you can get a 50-yard run, but you haven't made the touchdown. Yeah. Yeah, bro. You got a 50-yard run. Yeah. Cool, clap. Celebrate, but the game's not over. Right, quarters. Obviously, in business, we have Q1, Q2. Right. It's so similar, and I think, I played sports. There's a lot of things, like how I learned how to design and being transparent and really get back to the roots. I was really big into Call of Duty and gaming back when I was growing up. So I wasn't really, I went outside and stuff, but I was never really in sports growing up as like a young child. So as soon as I got to freshman year of high school, I started playing football and stopped doing YouTube and design. So this is how I really learned how to design, was back in these days, these summer days where, I was playing basketball with my friends, and then at nighttime we were playing Black Ops 2, Modern Warfare 2, just all night. And we made a team called Purify, and I was making design. So this is how I learned how to design. But when my accident happened, it was really a full circle moment, because all God did was bring my eyes back to what I was already doing. Yeah.
He was preparing you.
He was just preparing me. Yeah. He just wanted to show me, because back in high school, I thought, damn, I'm going to go. I didn't even really want to go to school. Yeah. I was just going, I was like, let me go play football, get a little scholarship. Do what everybody else is doing and kind of flow by. Right. I knew I didn't want to do that. Even at the end of graduation, I was scared. So when this happened and this came, they were amazing to me. But kind of to get back to that football analogy, we're playing a game. It's not a one play, then you win. And people like to celebrate way too early. You have to score and win the game before you can celebrate. And that's how I feel on it. Like, that's me being fully transparent. Like, another thing I'll say is, when I started, obviously, like with the funding and being more real transparent with financial, it's the same thing. Like, there's times, and there's been times even recently where, like, you just kind of have to learn and persevere on your own. Like, there's so many things, but I'll just leave it at that, man.
Yeah, bro.
For Godsent, it's looking like how you said, when we took the beginning of, or the end of 2022, really in the beginning of 2023, to kind of, like you said, take a step back and see what's going on. Yeah. Kind of going back to that football analogy, we're just drawing up plays before the game, kind of watching film, reviewing, seeing what's really about to happen in the next season. And for Godsent, spring and summer has always been kind of that key heavy hitters, because most of our essential pieces right now are obviously hoodies for the winter time, but we have t-shirts, shorts, those really just do well for us. So I took a step back in the beginning of this year to like how you said, build my team and really get those key players that can help scale the brand. So that's what I've been doing recently. For the future, it's looking pretty good. This is recorded in April, right? April. So hopefully, like June, July, we'll see. You know, we leave it in God's hands, but we're definitely moving in a good, fast direction.
Yeah,
we're not fast, but smart direction.
Right.
But like my new thing, and as for me, it's hard as the owner to take a step back because obviously I want to produce product. You know, I want to produce. For me, it's awesome. Like one of my biggest things I always love to see is like when we have the product, but people genuinely love it. It's like a different type of impact and feeling. Yeah, because we do it like to help others. So when you see it's actually helping others, it's like, wow, okay, what we're doing is not meaningless.
It's more intentional.
It's very intentional. Like every design, everything we do has a story behind it. It's not just okay, let me get $100 real quick. Like it actually has a meaning behind the message. Like this one is the Born Again Disciple hoodie.
Yeah, that's hard, bro.
Yeah, thank you, man. And it's just simply what it looks like. It's Born Again Disciple. You have to follow. And on the back of it, it has since 2020 on the back with like hands, and that hands to me represents God because God moves mountains. Yeah, and Godsent obviously started in 2020, but that's just one. Like obviously we have like simpler designs, but that's kind of where we're headed to. Like I'm really looking to get into, or we are moving like that luxury streetwear direction. Yeah. So more sweaters, hopefully get into jackets and kind of more luxurious items, but even keeping our bread and butter still with athletics. I'm very excited to start that. That started January 2023. Yeah, we started that January 15th, 2023 because Godsent was born January 15th, 2020. Yeah. So I was like, okay, same day. So I always remember that too. But I'm really excited to kind of start that and see where that goes and where that takes us to as a whole. But definitely going to keep our bread and butter, and I'm excited, man. It's going to be 2 different worlds open for sure.
That's what's up, bro. That's exciting to hear.
Yeah, thank you, man.
Yeah, and you mentioned a little bit about kind of the journey, but how I mentioned before, we come from different worlds in what we do, but obviously we come together. Right. But I feel like there's so much that I don't know about the fashion and the streetwear and all that. So share a little bit about what that looks like, bro. Like even like
100%. So I'll say when I first started, I really didn't know what was going on. I've learned a lot, especially dealing with manufacturers. You can get finessed. I've been finessed before. Like it's just you have to learn, and like you said, it's these compound risks. It's these things where okay, you may be down for a month or two, but you learn from those month or two. So a lot of people see things like, oh my gosh, you're doing so well, you're moving, like you made it or X, Y, and Z, but like you said, there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes. There's a lot of quiet nights and a lot of nights where you just don't know. I remember this was back in 2022. I was working at a gym in my hometown, and even after seeing some small success and wins, I was like, is this thing still even gonna work? You kind of the devil kind of creeps in your mind. You kind of have these thoughts. So I was like, is this gonna work? I remember thinking, man, I'm gonna just go back to school. Maybe it's not realistic, but you just have to keep going, man. I think that's what makes it so beautiful at the end when you look back. And I don't even like to say me because I feel like that's taking credit. Because like I always say, like for Godsent, I'm the messenger. Like don't look at me like I'm not perfect 100%, but that's why I'm just the messenger for God. That's all this is. Like this is God's brand. It's not my brand. I think literally it's not my brand. It's not my brand like at all. I'm just the face, the messenger behind it. That's it.
Definitely. I think another thing, bro, and we talked about this when we first started talking a couple months ago. I think what really brought us together also was that component of faith.
Right. Of 100%.
Right. It's really easy to work with someone who literally believes in the same thing you do. You know what I mean? And lives it out. So that's huge, bro. You know what I mean?
Yes.
But yeah, man, thanks for sharing a little bit about like what that looks like.
Of course.
And even being transparent. And one of the last things I want to talk about is, and we've touched on it a little bit, what does the future of Godsent look like?
Of course.
Because I know you touched on, you're jumping into that new kind of style of clothing even.
Right.
But even on the logistical side, what does that look like for you and your team?
Right. 100%. So for me and the team, it's going to be like a lot more events. I'm looking to really get the brand noticed all across the United States. That's kind of where I want to start first. But even if you look at this sticker, like I wish I had the hoodie. Wish I do, but like, ever since the start, this was 2021 when we.
Yeah, sure.
Here you go. When we did that logo, when I made it,
was this one of the first logos?
Yeah, this was probably this is the second design I ever did, and with that, it means Godsent worldwide. So eventually the goal is worldwide, but how I've kind of, you know, put the vision or the structure in place is like backwards. Like I already thought these things at the start, so when it does happen, it's like we already thought that. So it's kind of like betting on yourself in a way. Yeah. But for that was really cool. But to get more into details, I want to take it first. Obviously, start with the United States. East Coast. We started in the East Coast in Virginia, but you know, kind of do some more pop-up shows in New York City. Obviously, I'm based in Dallas, Texas now, but still take it across the whole map and kind of just get the whole name going and what is this, and kind of strike that spark. And it doesn't happen overnight, especially with clothes. Right. There's people who have way better, you know, quality, you could say, in the garments, but for us and how I really push the brand is through our storytelling. I think with the story that started it, and if we translate it the right way into clothes and design, like the opportunity is endless. But yeah, man, that's kind of where we're going right now in the future for the team too as well. Like I'm just looking to get a few more people that, like you said, believe in what we're doing. For me, I don't really feel like I need to hire like 30, 40 people, but I'd rather have a team of like 8, 10 people who come together and they know we're on the same page. Because even with, it's in the Bible, you know, 2, you move together. With 2 or more. With 2 or more. God is there, God is there.
Dang, bro. That's exciting, bro.
Thank you, man. How
that is super exciting. Yeah. And I just always think about it, bro, like how different our worlds are. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, bro, if you were to tell me, Josue, tomorrow go and start a clothing brand, I wouldn't know the first thing. I wouldn't know who to talk to. I wouldn't know where to get clothes from. But it's really interesting to hear everything that's going on in that world. But I would say for me, bro, I think how you said it's there, like this world is there. I would even say, bro, your world is way harder than mine. To be transparent, like, bro, all you see on TikTok, on Instagram is just clothing and these brands trying to grow. So it's like your competition and your niche, it's hard to grow in. Like being transparent, it is. You know what I mean?
Oh, it is.
But the fact that you're growing, I mean, on Insta, this guy's, if you guys check him out, Shop Godsent, you're going hundreds of followers each day, bro. So that's crazy. Almost at 5K on Insta. And then the YouTube just started up again. So that's going to go crazy. But I would say for me, bro, I need to be transparent, I need to find new ways to meet the needs that are being presented. Right? Because I feel like if I can just stick with what I'm doing and make sure everyone gets their posts up and everyone's happy. But I want to find new ways to compete with the people that are in the niche. Right? So for example, I have a client who's in the ministry world, right? Pastors and leaders. And like maybe a lot of people aren't in that world, which is fine. Like that's kind of its own selective world of Christianity and that type of deal. But the typical post that you see from a leader or a pastor is what? They're up and they're preaching. And it's a small clip with subtitles, right? And that's what I've been doing for that guy. But that's just an example of I want to find new ways to push that content instead of just the typical.
Of course.
You know what I mean? 100%. And I'm sure you can relate to that. You want to stand out from the brands. You want to stand out from people in your niche. You know what I mean? And that can be kind of hard in a world where everyone's trying to be original.
Of course.
You know what I mean?
Of course. I agree. And I thank you for the transparency. Just to like piggyback off that. It's like, that's a good problem to have though, because it shows you're not, like how we said earlier, I don't know if it was on the podcast, but you have another level that you haven't tapped into. That's all that is. And I feel the same thing for me too, and I'm sure you guys can, but it's just like, you know, you haven't reached your potential yet, and it's almost like a scary thing because I seen something with J. Cole on the Breakfast Club. It's like, it's a good and bad thing in a way because it's like you're never satisfied. Which is bad in a way. You always you always trying to get the next goal. It's like, say you do get 10,000 by the end of the year, say Instagram followers, whatever. Now it's like, okay, like you want 50.
You want more,
20,000. And that's bad in a way. Like, to be honest, to me, I kind of look at that like a little bit, I don't know, it's like a two-sided street. So it's like, being grateful and like having gratitude for what you have now, because like you said, there is a lot of clothing brands, but like I'm so blessed and like satisfied. I'm satisfied, but obviously, like you said,
you're full of gratitude.
You're full of gratitude. Yeah. It's like, okay, I have. We built something where people do love our product and they genuinely like it and they support it. And that alone to me is the world. So it's like no matter, say how big we get, like I just have that genuine appreciation from day zero. Like yeah.
So I've seen interviews, because you talked about J. Cole, and I've seen interviews with, and I'm sure you've seen them like with these big artists, big stars like Drake, whatever. And one thing that they've always say, I always hear them say this, is that they say that when they're at the top, because they're at the top, right? These top artists, they're still not satisfied with what they have, and that can be dangerous. You know what I mean? Like, and us, like we're nowhere. I don't think I'm nowhere near the top, and I still I'm still feeling unsatisfied at times. You know what I mean? So I can only imagine when one day if X person was to have it all and they don't feel satisfied, it's like, what more is there? Right. You know what I mean? So that's why the danger, but it's also important to remember that you need to live life with gratitude instead of looking of what you could have. Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? And the thing that maybe people that are watching don't understand is that when you're running a business, you need to keep that in mind always. Right. Because what do we want to do as a business? We want to what? Grow. We want to grow. We want to scale naturally. Right. Like that's our human instinct, our nature. We want to grow. We want to scale. But there needs to come a point where in your business, and maybe you're a business owner and you're trying to start a business, whatever is your deal, you need to understand that no matter how many clients you have, no matter how many followers, you'll never be fully satisfied. So you need to stop and take a moment to be filled with gratitude. You know what I mean? And that's what you just touched on. Yeah, no, I think that's the big takeaway. Like for this, it's just gratitude. Yeah. Be grateful for what we have, because it can all be gone in a second. Like, oh yeah. I learned that lesson before I started. So like I just move with like intention and purpose. Yeah. And everything. Like I just feel very grateful. Yeah. And even going back to, we told our pretty much like our beginning stories of how we started. It's important to remember that although we have seen progress, like none of it belongs to us. How you said, you know what I mean? Like how you said, like I like how you said that we're just the messengers. Of course. You know. 100%. Of course. It's yeah, bro. I even like how you just brought it back up. Like it's not mine. No. None of it's ours. Yeah. That's important to remember, bro. Definitely. It's like you said, with celebrities and other people, like they can kind of get egotistical. And you see these things, and then you just gotta know why you're doing it and where you're headed, and just have that clear direction. Yeah. Kind of with the football play, man. Just draw up your plays, run them. If it doesn't work, try another play. Yeah. It's a game. It's a fight. It's like you can relate it to literally any sport. For real, yeah. Yeah. That's how business is. Yeah, man. Well, Ethan, I appreciate you coming on, buddy. Likewise, man. Yes, sir. And we're definitely going to be making more of these. This was fun. It was our first one. But let us know what y'all think in the comments. We're going to make clips of this. So y'all be seeing this on the social medias. Hey, shopgodsent.com, baby. More on the way.